welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Himanshi and I'm here to inspire you guys to live more creatively. Hit the subscribe button for videos every single week on DIY, home decor and macrame projects. And today's video is all about creating your own art. I've done a lot of wall art videos before, but I wanted to do specifically on boho art this time around. I think creating your own art really is the easiest and cost effective way to really refresh your space, especially when it's winter season time right now, and it adds up a lot more personable because you can really customize any one of these pieces to your own style.
Let's get started with our first project. Hello from VoiceOver Himanshi. So as I mentioned at the beginning of my video, we are going to start off with the easiest custom piece of minimal boho art ever. And for the materials, I'm going to use this cotton cloth. I had this cotton bag which was lying with me for quite some time now, which I'm going to cut it in a square shape and use it for my art. And then I'm going to use a paintbrush, some water, some acrylic terracotta paint, and the final material for this DIY is this embroidery wooden hoops. So let's get started with the piece. So this one is going to be very graphic and is inspired by African mud cloth. And before I start painting, I'm going to hook this cloth in this embroidery wooden hoop and then start painting. And first, I'm going to go in with the terracotta brown chalk color as my background color. I'm going to make sure that the paint is not as watery or else the cloth will take more time to get dried up. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting in a round. Laying down the color, I'm ensuring that my brush moves around in shape which will give a nice look. And I will follow the same step for the second hoop as well. After you get it how you like it, make sure that you let it dry all the way through before moving on to the next step. Also, I wanted the lines and V's to be perfect, so I took a plain paper, a white paper sheet, and I just started making the lines and V's so that I have her hands on it. So I just started doing this before I start actually working on the piece. To give myself a bit of a guide, I'm going to use a very thin washi tape, and the one that I'm using is not super sticky so that it does not peel off any of the paint underneath. But here I'm just going to create some rows and columns, and originally I wanted this design to stick to a grid look, but you will see later on that I ended up taking off some of the tapes and just using it as a guide. As I go through each row, and for the design you want to use a nice white, using this white Guesso paint. And as for the brush, I'm using the super thin one. Of this is my favorite for line work. You must have seen in my previous videos, I use this for all my thin paint work. But for further work, I will use another brush. So stay till the end of this video and I'll be sure to link it down below. So for the mud cloth design, I referred many photos on the internet, and I suggest that you do the same as you pick up your favorite looks, but I really just begin painting in the lines and the V's and just repeating it down the column. This really did take a lot of care, so you don't want to make sure that you go slow. After completing this first column, I really just use it as a guide so that I can go through and make sure that all my lines are even and straight as I move throughout the piece. But really, it has a lot of repetitions of V's and lines and dots, and I made sure that to keep looking at different reference photo so that I can create the perfect combination of patterns. While I'm painting this, I wanted to make sure that I give a little bit of a background on African mud cloth, which hails from northern Africa, and it's a local tradition of using handwoven fabric. The design itself has a special meaning that has passed through generations, and the design is made from using fermented mud. And today we can see that it's very popular within a Western design for its bold graphic look. This painting takes a lot of precision and patience, but I promise you it's worth it because in the end, I feel like I have such a beautiful handmade piece. And since I did on cloth, it really did look like a mud cloth handwoven art that I could not find at the store. And I love how bold and graphic look that I have created and perfect for my walls. One of the core elements in the Bohemian design is really to incorporate a mixture of different world cultures, and I think that adds such a nice touch to my home decor. Now let's move on to the next project. For this next project, I'm grabbing this desk pad so that mera table kharab na ho and a chunk of my clay, and I'm gonna roll that out into a slab with a thickness of 3 popsicle sticks. Going to use this round cardboard cutouts that I had used previously and gonna use that as a guide to cut off my circles for moon shapes. So for my piece, I'm using one big one for the center and then 3 circles which gradually get smaller in total. We'll have 9 circles for our moon faces. I'm taking these shapes and I'm tracing them right on the clay and cutting them all out. Luckily, the slab of clay fits them perfectly, and again, I'm just gonna press it gently, which will then get cut into a circle shape. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set those aside and roll out another clay slab to cut out the remaining moon faces. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and let them sit for a little bit and come back to them to smooth them all out with some rubbing alcohol. This step is super important, and I'm just gonna smooth out the edges as well as the flat surface of each moon face. After that, you can go ahead smooth out the edges for the perfect look by sanding it out using sandpaper. Now at this stage, you can add holes to the moon. If you're planning to attach it with the string, then you can skip this step. Alright, so here's what the layout of the moon shape looks like. So we are going to have the big one in the center and the smaller ones on the side. And then I'm taking the same circle shapes that I used before. Then I'm going to use that as a guide to create my moon faces and trace it on with a pencil. The center one is going to be golden, so we don't need to worry about that, but the rest of them are going to be very in crescent and half moon faces. And if you want to do more faces, you can definitely add in a lot more circles to create a long banner. So now it's time to paint, and I wanted these to be vibrant and visible. So I'm going to use this Fevi Acrylic Sparkling Pearl Color Gold for these shapes. And I really love this color as it gives a nice metal texture finish. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint that into the negative space of each circle and also paint the edges as well. I found that one coat has actually covered it pretty nicely, but I added in two coats just in case. So for the actual moon shapes, I first used white acrylic paint, but I thought that looked way too light and did not give that rich vibe. So then I added a black color to create a perfect moon texture. And last, Now at this stage, we are going to go ahead and add a piece of golden thread since my moons are of golden in color. I'm using this golden twine, or you can use any twine to put it all together. And as I'm doing this, I'm making sure the white face is actually facing at the back while the color is facing outwards. And while I'm using string, I'm ensuring that it's straight in line, and on both the ends of this, I'm attaching a keychain ring to hang it on the wall. You can hang this piece vertically or horizontally, and I think it adds up so much interest to a gallery wall or just a plain white wall. I love that this is very neutral take on a lunar decoration that you might normally see, but of course you can change this up to any colors to suit your personal style. This DIY was super fun and simple to create, and I think just came out so cute. You can hang this to any space you wish, your living room, your bedroom, balcony, or kids' room. It's an all time favorite for all.
So those were the project for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment down below which one was your favorite. My favorite, in fact both were my favorites, but if I have to choose one, moon face wall hanging is my favorite, and really it looks very elegant. If you guys liked it, please comment down below and give a big thumbs up to my channel. And if you guys haven't already subscribed it, please subscribe. It really helps me a lot. And also I do have my Instagram page. Please do follow and stay tuned for the coming videos. I keep updating status, I keep uploading photos and update my status on my coming videos. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.